Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Pop-up style on y'all once again. It is 11:15 a.m. on Hump Day, Wednesday, October 22nd, and we got something to talk about, y'all. If we're here, pop-up style, you know it's something going down. So you got me, A1 Forever, Chris Tipmore. You got him, Smooth Smitty, 15, 16, 17K. And my thing is, it is a trade possibly coming down the pipeline. You see who's in the back. We're talking about Arnold Ebiketie today, y'all. Going to dive in a little deep. So, man, y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Good. Yes, yes, yes. Good day to all of the gentlemen and ladies that come in. uh, let's see what we got. Shout out to the chat early. John Brooks in here
John,
for one
what's
of
up,
the
my
first
guy?
one in here.
Yeah,
One of the first ones in here.
yeah,
Robert
man.
Blackman, man. Good morning, sir. Good morning. Larry, how you feeling? How you feeling? Yeah, man. We're about to get into it, man. About to talk about it. The Arnold Ebiketie, man. Some news coming down about Arnold. AK 17, 38th overall draft pick in the second round of the 2022 NFL draft. Y'all know him very well. And man, yes, sir. What's good, Thomas? What's good? Rise up, Falcons. Yeah, man. How you feeling, Smitty? How you feeling this morning, man?
I'm feeling good, man. I like to talk trade news, man, because it gets interesting and interesting. And you talk about 30 pick of the 30. I think he was the 33rd pick of the draft. Cause
38th.
38th, yeah, because they
Mm-hmm.
actually moved up to take him.
Mm-hmm.
They made a trade to move up and take him, and they thought he was going to be one of those guys that could come in and make a difference. But we'll get into it, man. But as always, man, thank y'all for tuning in, man, joining us. When news breaks, we're gonna try to be the first on top of it. We're a little bit behind this morning because we got to eat. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
we gonna bring it to you, man. Give out them calculated thoughts. We go here, man.
Definitely, man. How y'all feeling? Yes, come on in. Ricky, how you feeling? How you feeling? Hey, Miss Karen, what's good this morning? Yes, man. Let's see what we got. Ricky saying what's going on, fellas. I know this is about AK, and we probably all saw the writing on the wall. Why do you think they didn't try to trade Ray as well? Okay, we'll touch on that.
Yeah,
We can
we'll
touch
touch
on
on
that
that.
right now.
Yeah,
We can
go ahead.
touch on that real quick. Well, I mean, my thing is, what do you think Ray's trade value was? Because if you would have possibly tried to trade him in the off season, you could have said, "Hey, look." I'm saying, look at his season last season. I know he kind of overachieved, but look at his potential, what he could do. Look at his numbers, blah blah blah. You probably can go to the negotiation table like that, but you really can't go to the negotiation table with the "what have you done lately," because it's not a lot of production there. So it's just like, what could you possibly get? Maybe a seventh rounder in 2050. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's a long time from now. So just being, but
that's a
but
lifetime
honestly,
away.
yeah, man. But all jokes aside, though, I feel like it was trade value, and if it's not a trade market for a player like that, you have to go ahead and just release them. I believe. What you think, Smitty?
I agree, man. He overachieved, and I keep telling y'all this. He overachieved last year, I think. So if you gonna really trade him, it'll be for a special teamer, and it would have been 2 3 years down the road, and it would have been a 7 round pick, and they probably were going for a fifth or a sixth. And nobody gonna give you that for Ray McLeod. Keep it real.
Right,
But I hope he bounces back on his feet, and I hope Runway could real take off in the rap game.
hey, man. I hope whatever he does next, I just hope the best for him. That's all I got to say. Miss Carey, how you feeling? Say hi, Smitty and Chris. I think it makes sense to trade because we have bigger holes than Edge, which is really crazy to say. Contract year for him, and he likely won't be back. Let's fill another hole. And yes, we are talking about Mr. Arnold Ebiketie. But it didn't start today. We got to back up a little bit, y'all. I know we had a live last night. Some great live with Falcon Fandemic. So make sure y'all check that out if y'all haven't. But, I'm saying, last night after the show, around about 11 or so, this happened. This is Arnold Ebiketie's Twitter, Dr. Arnold Ebiketie, A7 Chronic. News on AK coming soon. A lot of people did see that last night. Some people saw it this morning and started reacting to it like, what is he trying to tell us? What is he talking about? What are we talking about? What are you talking? You know, everybody's confused about what's going on. But at 11 o'clock p.m., I feel like the Atlanta Falcons informed him, like, hey, Arnold, we're going to try to seek a trade for you. You know, or I know, Smitty, you said you had a theory too as well. Like maybe Arnold, he asked for a trade, possibly.
I think he probably asked for a trade, man. Because if you think about what's been going on, Jalen Walker and James Pierce have been getting snaps from the start, and if they're to do that, um, where is he gonna fit in? Like we talked about before we got on air,
Right.
he started 3 games, and those 3 games I think were the first 3 games. The next 3 games, they put Jalen Walker in just a little bit more, even though he had a groin injury. They put him in a little bit more, and then you got to think too. Caden Ellis has been playing more on the outside, so I mean there really aren't any snaps for him. So why keep him around? And you got to think about D'Angelo Malone as well. He's a guy that can factor in. Yeah, he doesn't get much playing time, but think about it. He's an off-ball linebacker that can probably do more than AK. So now, since you drafted this kid, former second-round pick, you thought you had an edge rusher of the future, and like Miss Carey said, this is a contract year, and I don't think he's coming back. So why not go to get value for him now, even if it's just a 4th or 5th round pick? Just going to make the move.
We'll see about that. But
yeah, we'll see.
Jeremy Fowler, he had this to say, and if you guys, hold on, wait a second, hold on, yeah, thank you. And so I said, Jeremy Fowler, if you see down there at the bottom, it says trade deadline ranking top 25 players who could be on the move. And then he comes right back. That was at a 30-minute mark. He came right back to, and then said, among names added to the fray. And you see Alontae Taylor, you see Logan Wilson, but you also see the player that matters to us, Arnold Ebiketie. So that's what I'm saying.
Can I add to that right quick?
Just add it to. Hold on, one second. My thing is like even about this. And going back to this, like I said, the Falcons definitely let AK know, or he either let them know, either or. But the writing really been on the wall even further back, because you go to the draft and what we did in the draft, what we brought in. Then you go to training camp and see like all the different snaps and ways that other guys who were just recently brought in were being used. Preseason game. You go back to the preseason game, fam, and remember that he was playing in the last preseason game, like in the 4th quarter. Then you go to the regular season. Yes, you're right. Then you go to the regular season now. Yeah, he started 3 games, but then you see the lack of production, and you see these other guys, like you say, like Jalen Walker getting in, and other guys are getting playing time. His snaps going down, and you just see it. It's just all over the wall. He has no sacks right now. 17 tackles right now. Only 1 quarterback hit, 1 tackle for loss. Now I know, lack of snaps will do that as well, but another guy who's in a contract year, man, it's tough. And I was pulling for AK, man. So,
we still haven't even named Leonard Floyd yet. Leonard Floyd is a part of this equation as well. Even though he hadn't played up to that contract, he factors in as well. So I mean, they went out and got free agent defensive help through the draft. So, a lot of these players, they knew it was a contract year, and they always looking toward the future. So now, they're going to do that. But Jeremy Fowler, if you read the ESPN article, he said the buzz was Ebiketie had interest dating back to the offseason, the 2022 second-round pick is an expiring contract, which we just said. Richie James Pierce Jr., Jalen Walker are a big part of Atlanta future edge rusher. The Falcons don't necessarily want to trade him, but typically at least listen to offers when it's presented. And Matt Bourne says the tape on Ebiketie is the 6'2", 250-pound, fits the profile of 3-4 edge, which is true. It can be schemed in sub package sets. Ebiketie is linear mover with short area speed and the hand usage to set up blockers. Defense could use Ebiketie as a nickel edge rusher, or he does not have a sack yet in 2025, but he's at
Nope.
exactly 6 in each of the past 2 seasons. That's absolutely correct.
Yes, that's what I'm
So
saying. I could have sworn he had 6.5 last year, but
they
okay.
probably took half. They taking everybody's sacks, man. So yeah,
And just going back to his snaps. Oh well, we're not even going to talk about special teams. I mean, he has no snaps, on that special teams anyway. But yes, going back to snaps, right now he's on pace to play. Even if he did stay the entire season, he's on pace to play like the least amount of snaps in his career, possibly since 2023. He may be right around that, which was 384 as far as number of snaps. But his
yeah,
last year was his most numbers of snaps with 543, which was 49% of the defensive snaps. Right now, he's only playing 40%, which is not terrible, but for a guy who's in his fourth year in the NFL, that doesn't really look good. I feel like most of his snaps really are coming from the last couple of games too. When you think about it, like playing guys like Josh Allen and just recently with Mac Jones, I seen him out there too in the fray a lot. So and like I said, I was really pulling for AK for them to be a big season for him, because you look at it and man, he was just kind of like poised, what I'm saying, to have a breakout year because he's having extra help, but it just hasn't worked out. And the way that we drafted kind of indicated like, all right, you got to make a splash here because we got competition coming in. And right now it just has not worked out fully for AK-17.
yeah, and I think they too, man. I think with the Falcons too. I think they're looking to recoup at least one draft pick next year, because you got to remember they already traded first and the fifth, so they are already down before the draft start. They're down to 5 picks again. So they're going to try to do anything they can to bring those draft picks back up to 7. And starting off with a guy like this could be the start of something. And I honestly, after they trade him, they still may have another trade in store, because there are still guys on this team that they could probably move. And it's, we like, keep the players around. I'm still thinking Tyler Algier could be a trade piece. Kyle
Oh,
Pitts could be a trade piece. I mean, it just doesn't stop. If they rebuilding the team, anybody except key role players like a Michael Penix, like a Bijan Robinson, like their young talent, they're off the trade block. But a veteran, any veteran any veteran could be traded, no matter who they are. It just common knowledge.
I can agree with this as well. Brave said, "Man, I think we only saw a lot of him because we missed Jalen, and that's true because your snaps definitely gonna go up when a guy is missed. So that is a good point as well. Uh, overall, and oh damn, go back to James. James says, "What up, Smith and Chris? I think that he needs to go because he has not done anything. Plus, he leaves his feet too much. I mean." Hey man, that's another point
Yeah,
as well.
but he do that Jane to
Trying to back
block,
down.
yeah, block the pass, the quarterback's view, and block the pass lane. So I get that part, but yeah, I get where you coming from.
Yeah,
Go
he
ahead.
said Ghost Pepper. See, now this is with something right here because it says Ghost Pepper says it makes sense to trade Arnold Ebiketie due to his expiring contract, of course, and teams focus on younger edge rushers. We could recoup draft capital instead of letting him leave in the free agency in the 2025 season, and that's
Yeah,
true. And that's
yeah.
where it goes back to what you just said, Smitty, about other guys as well. You don't want to put that speculation out there necessarily about
But we gotta be real,
you
Chris.
got to be
We gotta
real.
be real.
Yeah, that's why
If
I'm saying you
if
got to be real.
if if we traded two of our best players in franchise history, Matt Ryan and Julio, what makes you think anybody else is off limits? And yeah, they were over the hill, but
Had
at the same time, this lets you know it's a business at the end of the day. And to
we
get
know.
that, keeping that business rolling in the right direction, you got to make the necessary changes at the right time and don't let it creep up on you. Because, like y'all said, an expiring contract, what if he gets away and we don't get nothing for him and we scrambling to find somebody else with less draft picks? So, it only makes sense going forward. And his tweet lets you know he's already been
They let them
informed,
know.
or he's already informed
They
them that
let
he
them
wants to
know.
move on. Yeah,
See,
it's
yeah,
common sense.
regardless, both sides know. Both parties know, regardless of whether Arnold asked to be traded or whether the Falcons said, "Hey, man, we're going to move you." Regardless, both parties know. and we just got to see where it goes from here now, as far as like what kind of capital, draft capital, because that's where I'm really assuming that they're necessarily going for draft capital. But if you can move him for a piece that you can use, maybe a wide receiver, linebacker, or possibly even a corner, I feel like you got to try to go down those avenues, because welcome to the world that the Falcons have, draft capital on the line that they could trade,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's just, so I mean, welcome to the world of that, of having depth to be able to trade guys like that. But
And
again,
also think about this, Chris.
go ahead.
Look at how some of the teams that started 1-6, 1-5,
Sure.
know they're not going to make the playoffs. Say like a guy like Charlie Algier. If he goes to a team that's, headed in the playoff direction, they probably give you top dollar, even though say like you might get from a team, middle of the road, you might get a fourth or fifth round pick. With a team that's in the playoff run or playoff hunt, that goes up to a second round pick only because of where they're at and what they need at the moment. So
Possible.
this could be the perfect time to where a team that needs edge rushers, a la Pittsburgh Steelers, or someone that runs a 3-4, they could give you top dollar for Ebiketie, maybe a third round pick, because they need the help to keep the thing moving in the right direction. So you just got to look at it in certain aspects as to why it makes sense. If you're trying to recoup picks, you trade them to the right team. Guess what? You might get higher value, and that might help your team going forward into next year's draft. So this is why I don't get mad when things like this happen. So
Yeah.
sometimes it just made all the more sense trading down before you losing for nothing.
Yeah,
It just
strapped up. It's
comes
a it's a business strapped up. I understand about, it's like, why are we trading a player away in the middle of the season? I mean, at the end of the day, we just explained it, fam. Like, you want to try to get trade value for him now, than to try to just possibly lose him at the end of the year, especially if you're not going to keep him. His snaps has gone down, his numbers are down, but if you can get something for him, possibly, you never know. He may be packaged with something. You just never know. But at the end of the day, like, you got to try to get something now. And again, we have we have depth, man. That defensive line is deep. So you look at that too, man. Because all along that line, and especially for his position, it's pretty crowded right there, because you do have the Leonard Floors, you got Jalen, you got James Pierce, and you still have guys who are waiting in the wings to come back to hit the line. Like, they still
right,
haven't given up
right.
on Braylon Trice yet. They still, haven't given up on TQ Graham. I don't know what's going on with Troy Anderson, but that's a different case. At another time, they say it's no new news on Troy anyway. But it's still other guys that they can possibly use. So he's expendable. The draft kind of start making him expendable.
Yep, yep. And think about it too, as I said last night, with Divine Diablo going down, you got to start looking at practice squad players, or maybe guys with free agency, who cost a little bit of that, because you got to think about cap space. I don't know what his cap number is this year, but I'm sure it's just a little bit over $1 million. So they won't be saving much. But at the same time, that little money that they getting from this move could possibly go and get to somebody else that they can bring in right away to help at that middle linebacker position. Because Kazir White, who I did a video on last night on Tennessee's practice squad, that could be a veteran piece you can bring in for a little or nothing. And if you trade Ebiketie, that money that you give him, it just really an even swap, and you get a draft pick. So it's just all
Uh,
about business moves.
Let me see. He made. No. Let me look at this. If it stop acting stupid, thank you. Goodness, technology, boy, I tell you.
Boy,
All right, so all right, so Arnold Abicati was making just a little bit under 2 million. So it's like, yeah, he's making a little bit under 2 million, but when you throw in like a workout bonus, it is like a
so
little bit
what?
over.
So what's your dead cap space?
The dead cat, man, not even a meal.
See what I mean? If they
I ain't
trade him or release him or whatever
gonna
they decide to do,
to be honest, it's 906,903.
exactly. So they're not losing nothing but French fry money. Think
Uh,
about that. And that 906 can go to a veteran, who's on a veteran minimum. And Kaiser White has been in the league 8 years. at his position. I think the contract probably would be for Kazir White. I would say around 2 million, 2.5, because he signed a deal for 2 years and 10 million with guaranteed for 6. So I think that number drops from 5 to about 2.5 or 3. If he gets signed off the practice squad. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's just numbers in business. But go ahead.
And again, he was undrafted free agent. You know what I'm saying? So so it was either you try to do something now or you just let him walk. And I know I seen somebody say, uh, "What's good, family? What's good, everybody? Everybody popping in the chat. Thank y'all for popping in. Thank y'all for popping in. You know we talking about AK-17. Yeah, there it is. Corey Gear 5 said, man, who's going to want AK? He's not a standout, but he is still a young player, man. AK only like 26.
Yeah, he young.
You know, like he young. Like he still can be used. You never know. Someone else can possibly use him and maybe get the best out of him. It just, it comes down to coaching at the same time. So,
And y'all know I love to throw teams out there, man. And I feel like Dan Quinn could use him in Washington because they short on pass rush help.
man, I can see him in Oakland. Excuse me, not Oakland. I can
Las
see him
Vegas.
with the Raiders.
Yeah, because they definitely need pass rush help.
And I'm gonna say something too. I wouldn't mind even trying something like trying to see like, hey, saying y'all got Jacoby Myers, we got Arnold Ebiketie. I mean, maybe.
But I think they would have to throw in a future draft pick with that, because you got to look at
the Falcons or the Raiders.
The Falcons, because you got to look at, for one, you got to look at the talent level at wide receiver, and if we bring him in, it'll really be a premium piece for us. So we got to pay for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we got to pay for that.
No, yeah. I agree. You probably going to have to add something to it, but it'd be nice if it could be a fair swap, no swindle, just because, Jacoby, I don't think Jacoby wants to be out there anyway, but
no, he said it yesterday, man. He still said, he definitely still wants to move, but being a professional, you just can't up and move like that. You got to keep it professional and don't cause a distraction. Because they were actually asked, was Max Crosby on the market? And they shut that down quick. They did not want to trade him, and Max Crosby did not want to make a move, because if he did, he would have never signed that big deal.
Right.
But one thing you do know about Max Crosby, depending on where you send him, you possibly could get 2 first-round picks for him. So I think even though they said that they wouldn't trade him, if they get 2 firsts and maybe a second, I think he good is gone, man. I think he good is gone.
Heck yeah, I trade him for myself.
Hey, as I always say, Chris, money talks, man. Money talks. I mean, it's the same thing with Dion, like we talk about. He doesn't want to become a coach. Yeah, he doesn't want to become a coach, but at the same time, if you pay him $10 to $15 million a year, I mean, he gonna high step all the way to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, whether he wants to or not.
Yeah, that I don't see that happening, but just yeah, it's a nice pipe dream, but I don't see that happening, man.
Ski, I'm gonna do a video on that, later in the year, depending on circumstances with the record. We talked about it last night.
Coming with it early.
Yeah, and look, y'all, if y'all
stay out of our chat, man. Stay out of our group chat.
And you don't want to have no discussion about the future. I'm telling you, when I do that video, you can't handle it. It's best for you to stay out of it. But we welcome our boy Ryan, the historian. Stop in right quick.
What's happening, Ryan?
Hey man, what's happening? I see your boy Ski on that PCP pipe this morning. It's just one of these things where you just got to say,
"Damn, son, where'd you find that?"
That's how I'm feeling about it this morning, dog. So but it's what it is, man. But let's get to it. Look, Arnold Ebiketie's underperformed since he's been here, bro. At this point, you just got to just call a spade, and he's one of the guys that's been here where we've been waiting for this pass rush to come, but hey, he got to go. I know a lot of people not going to like what I'm saying. Pitts is playing for a contract right now.
Facts.
And the numbers ain't looking good. I don't give a damn what you say. He might be out of here too if he doesn't elevate it a little bit more. I know this year is really not on him, but Zach Robinson is getting ready to screw this man out of some money if we gonna be for real.
Yeah, because he don't really care, man. He on his way to Oklahoma State, so
exactly.
he trying to hold out as long as he can.
Exactly. But I mean, here's the other thing. A lot of people not gonna want to hear it. I'm one of them that don't want it to happen, but I'm also realistic about it. Tyler Algier might not be here. I want Tyler here because we got a hell of a 1-2 punch.
I just said that. Yeah, I just said that. You got to think too, man. It's a business, and I just keep saying it's a business, but think about it, man. As I told y'all, on certain, I could say 3 to 4 teams right now. Tyler Algier could be a number 1 back.
I can name about 10 that he can go to, right?
Yeah, and one team that we know about is up there, up north in Pittsburgh. That's a power run team, and offensive coordinator Arthur Smith would love to have somebody like that. So yeah, I mean,
he drafted them after all.
And they'll give you premium price if they trade for him.
So here's my thing. Now we're sitting here talking about it or whatnot. All I can say is there are many teams that'll take a Tyler Algier at this point. I'm gonna give you a team who would take him, and he would fit into what they do. They need a power back. He be in Kansas City. A lot of people not thinking about that. He take a lot of that load off of
Pacheco.
Off of Pacheco's plate. And Andy Reid has had a 1-2 punch. Go back to his Philly days when he had Brian Westbrook, and he had multiple backs, Deuce Staley and those guys. You don't think that he wouldn't go over there and bring any kind of value?
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, depending on what we ask him for, I can definitely see them making that move. I mean, Tyler, man, I can definitely see Cleveland even making a move because, I mean,
Quishon Judkins. Quishon Judkins done took their running back spot, so they good at running back. They got a number 1 guy. Yeah, they got a number 1 guy. But you talked about a team, Chris, team you named earlier, the Las Vegas Raiders. Yeah, they got Ashton Jennings, but they still need a power back as well. Somebody take the load off of him. But there are teams that he could be a legit number 1. I know one team, but they got their back. Well, he a Jim Harbaugh type guy as well. So
I'm with you, Miss Christie. I promise you. I feel like we need Tyler as well. I feel like everybody on this panel feel like we need Tyler. It's just we understand the business of things and we can't control anything. I'll pull out a checkbook and make sure I keep both my running backs, so I can make sure they both kind of like work off each other so both can stay healthy, and we can have them longer and longer seasons and stuff like that. But we know that's just not how it goes.
If you're gonna sit there and talk about, if you're gonna sit there and bring Tyler into the mix, you have to also look at the fact that this is the first time the Falcons have had a true 1-2 punch really since William Andrews and Lynn Kane, where you had a true 1-2 punch. You knew that you were gonna have power that was gonna knock you out with William with a little bit of speed, and then you had the straight speedster with Lynn Kane. He run you over here and there, but he was your slasher. But all I'm saying is, why would you want to, disturb that chemistry right now? And let's keep it a buck. Tight ends come a dime a dozen. A lot of people are in love with Pitts, but let's be real. What the hell has he done since he's been here? I don't want to hear the excuses. The numbers are not there. So if y'all are mad about it, go to hell. I stand on that. Go to hell. I stand on it because
I say wide receiver and tight end are 2 positions that you can get a production from anywhere, man.
Exactly. And if you look at the crop of tight ends that's getting ready to come out this year, they're just as good as what is pretty much that kid Fannin that's up in Cleveland right now. I told you Fannin was one of the best come out.
Breaking out. Fannin is starting to break out slowly. He really is.
And you talk about next year. Let's talk about this year.
Him and Tyler Warren are the 2 best tight ends right
doing now. In Indianapolis. He won the best receiver.
I knew Warren was going to be good though.
But A1, here's the thing: Fannin had better numbers than Warren. That's what nobody else talks about. That the only reason he didn't get the John Mackey Award was because he came out of Bowling Green.
Yep.
So it was political. That was the only reason why. But if you want to be honest, look at footage for footage. Fannin is actually better than Warren.
And Fannin finna push Njoku out the door.
Exactly.
Yeah, Njoku is going to be expendable. I
So at
already
this
see it.
point, who are you gonna look for? Because there's many tight ends that you can get that run 4.4s, that have hands, that are Mackey Award candidates who can block as well. Who are you gonna bring in?
If you want to talk receiver, I said it in the offseason. You want to talk receiver, a veteran, Harrison Bryant has great hands. He has elite routes running skills. And the only reason he hadn't put the numbers up because he hadn't got a fair shot, no matter where he's been. Every time he went to a team, there was always a number one tight end in front of him. If he comes to Atlanta, you put him in the slot or you line him up in line, he can do the same thing Kyle Pitts doing. And probably excel at it. But, we'll see how that turns out, though, because you just got to look for the talent. That's all.
And I want to bring something up to y'all, too, and I want to ask y'all how y'all feel about this.
Okay, what
and
you got?
I've spoke on this many a days. The scary part about it is they're running Bijan into the ground early in his career. They're pretty much doing him like they did Todd Gurley, Steven Jackson, pretty much what the Rams do. Zach Robinson's doing that with Bijan at this point. Here's my question. Bijan's running style is beautiful, but it's like a deer running through a minefield. And when you have that type of running style, you set yourself up for injury. And it might not even be someone hitting him. It's because of non-contact injuries happen all the time, no matter how strong and great shape you're in.
Yeah, putting torque on them legs. Yeah.
Exactly. And the body is not supposed to move that way. If he goes down, knock on wood, because the way that Zach runs him, it's gonna happen when we least expect it. And I pray that it doesn't. Hopefully he stays healthy. What are we gonna do if we do lose? We get rid of Tyler Algier. Nathan Carter's a guy that has still unproven. Preseason don't mean a damn thing. Who are you going to go to that's actually going to be an impact player on this offense to take the pressure off Penix if Bijan goes down and you get rid of this dude?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Everybody keep talking about moving on from Tyler, but look, you don't find too many Tyler Algiers out here like that have durability at that too.
Yeah, because I mean,
limited carries.
Yeah, because a lot of us, we were kind of, baffled when we made the pick for Bijan. And, I got it at that point because he had just ran 4,000 yards. But, like I said, Ryan, it ain't that I want to move Tyler Algier. I'm just being realistic. It's the same thing as Arnold Ebiketie. If this is Tyler's last year and a team views him as a number one guy, 9 times out of 10, the Falcons going to get outbid. And if they get outbid, then we back to square one again. So it's just something that you got to think about. Yeah.
So, okay. All right. So this is at this point. All right. So we already know that Arnold Ebiketie is probably most likely gone. You guys are saying like if well, hold me back up. Okay, so AK is gone. Tyler is a trade piece. You know what I'm saying? Not because I didn't want to say that you guys are saying that we should trade Tyler. So that's why I had to back up. But Tyler is a trade piece. Kyle Pitts is technically a trade piece as well.
Contract.
But you know what I'm saying, November 4th is right around the corner. Does it feel like the closer we get to November 4th, depending on our win-loss record, is going to be dependent on what we do with certain players?
Absolutely. And one player that I got in mind is Drake London. I talked about this to you last night, Chris. Like I said, if y'all don't want to have that conversation,
we're trading Drake.
Do not tune in. I'll let you know when the time comes, right? But Ghost Peppers, this is the reason why. I said this, and I said it in preseason.
Yeah,
his usage is crazy. As strong as he is, as much as he likes contact, he can beat a defense to sleep. And once he does that, you can unleash Bijan. But it seemed like they don't get it. And I said that. The way Michael Turner came in his very first game for the Atlanta Falcons, ran for 200 yards after sitting 4 or 5 years in San Diego behind LaDainian Tomlinson. When he got his chance, he ended up being one of the best rushers in Falcons history. And Ghost Pepper, this is exactly what I said. So you just got to look at it from more views than one. I mean, you just got to look at it as a business because we just don't know what the future holds as far as contracts. If somebody outbids us for Tyler, he gone. If Pitts don't want to sign that franchise tag, he's gone. So just get some for while you can and just keep building. And I told y'all before, Terry Fontenot might get the raw part of the deal, but he's put together a damn good team. One of the best teams I've ever seen assemble for the Atlanta Falcons. but it might not, flourish like it's supposed to because we don't have the right coach in place. If we had the right coach in place, this should be flowing much smoother than what it is.
Right.
And sometimes
it's all about the company you keep, though.
Absolutely.
The company you keep sometimes can get you out the door.
Absolutely.
And here's the one thing that nobody want to talk about. Tyler only has 2 career fumbles. No one wants to talk about the fact that he only has 2 career fumbles. No one wants to talk about the fact that he doesn't put the ball on the ground. Now, with all the great things,
his fault, Ryan.
With all the great, what's up, bro?
One of them wasn't his fault.
But one of them wasn't his fault. Now, the other one that he had was his because he didn't secure the handoff. But other than that, let's be real. Bijan carries the ball like a loaf of bread and gets careless at times and fumbles at the most inopportune times. Now, I'm not saying that because Bijan, if anybody remembers the movie The Program, if you're old enough to remember it, go back and look at the scene where Omar Epps pretty much was a kid named Jefferson at running back, had incredible moves, great speed, great vision, did all the great things. But guess what? What did he say? When you put the ball on the ground, all that stuff that you're doing doesn't help us, son. That's the thing that kills us with Bijan. He's had fumbleitis in his career going back to Texas. I need him to be a little bit more protective of the football. He's not going nowhere. He's definitely one of the best players in the league, but just got to tweak that. But we have somebody behind him who carries the ball and takes care of the ball. And at this point, we have to keep
like value to me
on this team.
Yeah.
We got to keep value
on this team. Huh?
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like value to me. So a guy who doesn't put the ball on the ground, that's very valuable.
Because think about it. If we're in a tough game that we need to win a playoff game or whatnot, and you have to grind out the clock. You have to have someone that you can trust to be your closer, just like a pitcher in baseball. You have to trust them. And they got to have short-term memory with anything that happens. Tyler is that type of guy. I don't want to let that go because he brings value to this offense. Not only running the ball, talk about pass protection. That's something that he thrives in. He's a former linebacker. And also he can catch out of the backfield. Yep. So, I mean, at this point, when are we going to wise up and keep pieces that we need and cut the riffraff that's on this team, regardless of how fans feel about it? It's like, look, it's all about wins and losses at this point. To hell with having favorite players, I get that, but that hasn't won us anything since 1966.
And ATL 90 he asked, is this a rebuild? Because we definitely have potential to make a run this season. I don't see how AK, KP, or TA moves, helps us win now. And my thing is, we're not saying that, we're going to trade Kyle Pitts or we're going to trade Tyler Algier. We're just, having a conversation because we know that AK is getting traded because of what he said, the tweet, and of course, Jeremy Fowler. So something's going on, and there's definitely been communication between the organization and the player. Now, as for KP, we know that his contract is coming up at the end of the year, same with Tyler. So it's like, are you going to move these guys now, or what are you going to do? It's just always really depends on, I feel like, the next couple of weeks. Like, for example, hypothetically speaking, you lose this Dolphin game. That's a massive blow. And you're going to have to start reevaluating your team. If you start streaking in the wrong direction, November 4th is right around the corner. You may be sellers at the deadline.
Yeah, and think about it, Chris. We talked about this last night after the show. You talk about Bijan's contract. Bijan's contract gonna be elite contract. We talk about possibly $25 million for a running back.
He's gonna be the highest paid player in the league at that position.
He is, bro.
Yeah. Right. So you got to start to factor stuff like that in. Then you got Penix's contract
right behind him.
Right. So I mean, the way you look at it, man, then Drake, 25 to 30 million. So to make those kind of moves and to have those kind of contracts, look, you got to make the moves beforehand to get the money up. Because yes, we get a raise every year, raise in salary cap, but think about how much of that goes to dead cap space. Nobody wants to talk about that. They always talk about just the players.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Smitty, you forgot. Are we keeping Jesse Bates? So that's another thing you gotta think about.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates contract. And I'm sorry, you still got like guys like Zach Harrison, like his contract. You know, my thing, all these different guys' contract is going to be starting to come up here in a minute. You're gonna have to start making decisions on who you're keeping, who you're gonna let walk, who you're gonna trade. It's gonna be a lot of decisions here. You know, and I know everybody aren't first rounders and everything like that. I understand that, but still, you know what I'm saying, some guys, depending on the production, like for hypothetically speaking, if Zach Harrison goes out and has 7.5, 8 sacks this year, you don't think he's going to be like, you know, I want at least a little something because my production has gone up, which means my development must be working. You know, so it's just little things, man. As a team, it's not just the big players, it's the others too that you got to think about.
It's the supporting cast you got to worry about.
Yeah,
boy. Yeah, and the stuff that's being brought out here, you see how the fans are acting in the chat right now. It's like, boy, there's some stuff coming out here with these folks today.
Ryan, I told you that's why they don't want to have that discussion about great loving around me, bro. Because nigga like me, I keep it real.
Hey, Smitty. They out here hollering like Fabo right now. Just they hollering like Fabo today. So at this point, all you can do is just sit back and say, look, it's a business. Stop getting attached to these players because, again, these dudes work their ass off to get to where they are. They're looking to get the most money to take care of themselves and their families or whoever in the future. They don't care about what we thinking. Let's be real on that. They don't care. They just want their money.
Shout out to Ski, man. Ski, I think Ski be paying attention to me more than anybody. Because what he done put in the chat, he been watching me a long time. I can tell.
What Ski hurt Nick feelings
Yeah, somebody had to say it though. I mean, look, Ski.
I'm not mad at you, dog. I might disagree with some stuff, but today, me and you on a united front, minus the pits talk. But
right. see, that's how you know who fuck with you, man. When they start to think like you. And see, like I tell y'all all the time, I don't fall in love with nobody because I was one of the very few to say, man, y'all got to go and get rid of Julio. I said that 2 years before they traded him. Why? Because I seen the injuries starting to pile up and I started to see the value go down. Once the value started to drop, you got to think about making a move. And that Falcon for life, that sounds all good and dandy, and he's one of the best players to ever suit up for the Falcons. But when it's time, it's time. It's just like Father Time. If he's undefeated, that means times on your body is undefeated too. That means at some point you're gonna have that decline, that drop off. It changes for some players, but some players, depending on how much they produce, just like you spoke about Bijan earlier, it's gonna come a point to where Bijan ain't that Barry Sanders, quick cut type guy no more. It's gonna come.
Bro, think about it, Smitty. And I gotta be historical, and I don't give a damn how you feel about it. But I'm gonna tell you just like this: one of the greatest running backs outside of my hero, Walter Payton, was Earl Campbell. Earl said this at one point when they Earl said it at one point, just like this here. When he said I couldn't get through the hole fast enough anymore like I used to, guess what? I knew it was time for me to walk away from the game.
Yeah.
And people got to come to that realization. You only can do this for so long. It's
and the crazy part, Ryan,
for years.
Crazy part, Ryan. I remember him talking about that on the interview. Yeah. He was halfway through the season in New Orleans. He called his wife after that last game. And he said, I can't do this.
It was us.
Yeah.
It was the Falcons.
He said, I can't do it no more. He told his wife that, and he said, I'm coming home and I'm done. And after that game, he walked away. Because think about if y'all look at the highlight film, because I never saw him play in person. If you look at the highlight film, how he was running people over, and he had thighs like a mountain goat. How big his damn thighs were.
Like a mountain.
But I don't care how you built. If some keep knocking away at you and chiseling away at you, at some point it's gonna break. It's just that simple, and that's with players. That's with feelings here.
And Nando has a bold prediction right here.
Think about it, man. People not, and like we were saying, think about it. You know how many people in Houston was attached to that man? I'm talking about in the community and as well, because the man was a Texas legend from high school all the way up until he retired. You get what I'm saying? Still is. But they had to part ways. This is a part of the business that many people don't understand. You got to part ways with certain things to keep your organization relevant. You don't hold on to stuff too long.
Yep. Yeah. Because if the greatest player of all time gets cut, what makes you think anybody else not liable? Jerry Rice got cut by the 49ers. Let that sink in.
Walter Payton had Neil Anderson brought in to replace him. That man only missed one game in 13 years, and the one game he missed wasn't on him. That was on the coach that sat him.
Yep. Well, I ain't got one that's old, but I got one too. Kyle Shanahan thought Leonard Hankerson was better than Roddy White.
That was personal. That wasn't because of potential. That was just personal.
That was personal. That was personal. Roddy said that. Roddy said that.
But I'm with you on that, A1. That was redundant to do that.
Yeah, that I still don't know what Leonard Hankerson is today. So
collecting his pension from the NFL.
What it said. Nando said Bates and Ellis are not going to be here next season too. I'm like, whoo. Like, that's tough, bro. But again, it is a business decision.
I got to refute that just a little bit.
I think Ellis is definitely
Caden Ellis signed a 3-year, $21 million deal, which is $7 million a year. But I think it was backloaded, so he probably around 10 this year. If they give him probably just $3 to $5 million more, he's gonna be around. I think they can cough that.
They can work that.
Yeah, they can cough. I think Ellis will be back, but Jesse Bates, no.
No.
That's why they drafted Xavier Watts to take his spot.
You drafted not one, but you drafted two safeties.
Yeah.
So that's letting you know that, look, Jesse, we appreciate what you did, but guess what? We got to start thinking about the future. And I'm a huge Jesse Bates fan. I started calling him Bankhead Bates on the birdcage, and then that caught on. But guess what? He gotta. It comes a time where you gotta push him out. Because Smitty, you were old enough to remember when the 49ers had Bill Walsh on that sideline. He was pushing dudes out 3 years before their prime, before they even got out of their prime. Yeah, he had hard feelings for a long time, but guess what? They consistently won championships and consistently was in the playoffs.
Yeah, because think about it. He was the one made the decision on Joe Montana to cut Joe Montana after that elbow injury. If you have it, listen, the 49ers had one of the best runs in the 80s of all time. 3 of the key players on that team end up getting cut at some point. You talk about Joe Montana with the elbow. You talk about Ronnie Lott because he was just getting older. Then you talk about Jerry Rice after T.O. came along. So it's going to happen to every team. You just got to know when to make those tough decisions. Yeah, fans are not going to like it, but on the back end of that, if the winning continues after you cutting those key players, nobody going to have nothing to say.
They cut Roger Craig. Think about it. They cut Roger Craig.
They traded him to Minnesota.
Exactly.
But think about this though. Think about this, y'all. And I gotta keep it real. Sometimes, as a Falcon organization, sometimes we do hold on to players too long. Think about Deion Jones. He should have been gone before he was. You think about Grady Jarrett. He should have been gone before he was. But, and you look at Grady now, and it's just, it's unfortunate to see, Grady.
He's hurt right now.
Grady.
He's hurt right now.
Yeah, I hate that for Grady because I still love Grady Jarrett. I ain't going to lie to you. But, just talking about business-wise, though, you think about it, you got to start making tough decisions now because you don't want to hold on or overpay guys, and then you be looking like how we were looking when Dion, Julio, and Matt took up over way more than like 38% of the salary cap, just 3 players. So it's just, you don't want to be back in that situation. And so you're going to have to start making some decisions, man. We got to do it. And you see it with AK right now, already being a domino that is potentially going to fall.
Well, speaking of the D-line, I want to ask y'all this too. What do y'all think about, because we were talking about, and I said this up front, Zach Harrison has been my breakout player since we took him from Ohio State. He impressed me in that Peach Bowl.
Yeah, you and Chris been on him heavy, man. Yeah.
No, Antonio, no, we're not talking about replacing folks. It's pretty much out there that Arnold Ebiketie is probably gonna get traded, but we're speaking on probably replenishing and having depth. My thing is this. I think we need to get another piece on that D line so we can have even more of a rotation.
We still need a space eater. I've been saying that forever.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a name that y'all probably know if you're Alabama fan. I'm a dog fan. I had to watch him, and he killed the dogs. LT Overton. That kid came out of Texas A&M, went to Alabama, and balled the hell out, and has been balling and has been making plays. That is a guy that you bring in here to help on your defensive line, because he can play. He plays every position on that line, and he's a big boy. And he's a true nose tackle that can just move. So why not start replenishing that? That's my thing.
He ain't old dancing bear, is he?
Yeah, he is a dancing bear. Man, we not talking, Antonio. We're not talking bad about after the loss. We're talking about players right now. We're not talking about the loss, man.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If a player is out there, putting up cryptic messages that he knows he's about to be moved, what's wrong with us what's wrong with us going along with that?
Say Antonio, AK dropped it last night. He dropped this, so straight out the studio last night.
Yep.
You know what I'm
saying? Soon as we got out the live, he dropped it.
You know what I'm saying? And then Jeremy Fowler came around this morning and dropped this. Adding his name to a fray of names who possibly could be moved. You know what I'm saying? And the key word is there could. He could stay. All these players could stay, you know what I'm saying, in some form or fashion. It all depends on what the Falcons want to do. But again, we had to bring it back and just let you guys know that, hey, there are hard decisions that you got to make. We're not telling the Falcons to get rid of anybody. As we never really necessarily do. But, we
just know what sticking around too long look like.
Yeah, that's it.
We just know what it looked like. That's it. And it's not good.
We still have time to make a run, because you think about it, we beat the Dolphins. We're 4-3. We're still in the hunt, and so we're going to be going to New England. You got a chance to prove yourself against the Colts. You get the Panthers again. So these next couple of games are very important. If we can take care of business, we're right back in it. We have a chance to be right back in the situation where we was last year. We could be 6-3 again. We'll see.
And I said that 3 weeks ago. I could see us back in that same predicament. But the difference this year, we have a competent defensive coordinator to keep our momentum going. We didn't have that last year. When we went to that New Orleans game, it was no game plan on defense. It was just go in there, try to knock them out, try to get to the quarterback, and we couldn't do none of that. But at the end of the day, now that you have a competent defensive coordinator that's calling plays, our defense can go in there for force turnovers and put up points. So I don't see us having that same fall off unless Raheem Morris don't get control of what's going on with Zach Robinson. If he doesn't do that, I don't care what we do. It just ain't gonna never work because we can't put up points. You mean to tell me we lead the league in damn total yards on offense and we can't only put up 18 points a game? Make that make sense. Make it make sense.
And all you can say is it's just at this point they're starting to. This one thing that we're seeing with the Falcons that we haven't seen. They're literally trying to clean house with stuff that they feel as if it's toxic. Pay attention to it. Read the tea leaves.
Oh yeah.
They don't want anybody. It's pretty much they're letting you know that, hey man, we're not gonna have no distractions in this locker room. Ray McLeod at this point, hey, he produced last year, but wasn't producing this year, and he and Raheem got into it. We all know that was personal because Ray had affection for Ike Hilliard because he helped him. Ike had damn near two 1,000-yard starting receivers with Mooney and with Drake.
And see, I said it last night.
So, and see, I got to catch some of it last night. Right? So all I'm saying is, at this point, and I'm gonna say this because I've talked to both of y'all about this off the record and talked to y'all about it in the birdcage. Raheem should have had veteran coaches to start with. Veteran coordinators to start with.
I've been preaching that God knows how long.
But he's just afraid that somebody is going to outperform him to take his job. But little do you not understand, the better your coordinators are, the best coordinators are going to want to come work for you because of the fact that you're going to set them up for success and you're going to have this team winning, a team that is not known for winning consistently.
Yep.
It doesn't get more simpler than that.
Yeah, I mean, I said that. I've been saying that.
But everybody doesn't want to. But everybody doesn't want to hold him accountable for bringing in a first-year offensive coordinator first-time offensive coordinator, and then a defensive coordinator as last year that couldn't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time.
And you brought in a lot of young talent. Facts. How can a young coach teach young talent? How have they ever proven themselves on that level? No, they have not. And that's why you see it right now. And this goes back to what I said before.
Bro,
Kirk Cousins was the damn offensive coordinator last year. He was the one on the field telling Zach Robinson what was going on. He was doing the teaching last year. So now that Zach Robinson got to step out on his own behind that curtain, now you really seeing what was going on last year and going on this year. That's why Michael Penix only have 5 touchdown passes. That's why.
I said it. I like the magnifying glass is now on Zach, because last year it was on Jimmy. Jimmy was so bad last year. They were just, how could it not be? Now in year 2, it's more so on Zach. Like, okay, like you had some success, but you had success with Kurt, a veteran quarterback who is now 14 years in the game and can help you along and tell you, hey, no, that's not going to work. Because so the DB is going to do this, or the guy on the defensive line is going to do this, or the middle linebacker, the Mike, he's going to tell you. Kurt has that terminology and can be able to regurgitate it back to Zach, and so Zach can be able to understand things more often, more simple and everything, make it more simple for him. But now you got year 2 Zach, you got technically year 2 Penix, and those two are basically learning on the job with one another. And right now it's getting better. I think overall it's getting better, but it's not there. It's just not there. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't have anybody that is proven to be someone that can develop a quarterback. That's my only thing. With the track record, I haven't seen Raheem do it. I haven't known anything about Zach Robinson doing it, because you look at it, they had Matthew Stafford, yet another veteran. You look at all this, guys. Just think about the quarterbacks that these guys have been around. It's mostly been veteran guys. It's not been necessarily a rookie that they had to groom. So that's why, like, I'm honestly not convinced that firmly we have a coaching staff that can do it just yet, or maximize the potential on Michael Penix, and that's respectfully. I just want to see it. I'm not saying they're incapable.
You being nice when you said respectfully.
Yeah. But that goes back to what I said last night, though, Chris. That goes back to what I said about Raheem. What did he show you after Dan Quinn got fired? What did he show you in that 4-7 record that he could come back and coach this team to a winning season or make a deep playoff run? He didn't show us nothing.
Bro, we talked about that at that time too. It was nothing that was shown. It's just, honestly, I feel like it was a comfortable move.
Can I speak on this?
Yeah, but that's why I said you got to be uncomfortable to grow, and they haven't made that decision yet. Go ahead, Ryan. Go ahead.
Here's the problem, and I know I'm finna catch hell for it on my show, and I'm gonna catch it on here on your show. But you know what? That's my ass. That's how I'm feeling. So I'm gonna say it just like this here. The main reason why most of these people wanted Raheem was because he was a black head coach. Let's call it. A lot of people didn't know what his background was, unless you were a true NFL fan. A lot of you really didn't understand the fact that, yes, he's a good coordinator, but as a head coach, he's ass. He's straight trash. And why do you think Tampa got rid of him? Let's be honest. Most people's like, yeah, we want a black coach, but here's my thing. If you're going to bring somebody in here, I don't give a damn about color. It's just what it is. Bring somebody that's successful. But if you're going to bring a black coach in here that was successful, hell, you could have called Lovie Smith, who went to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman out of all quarterbacks. Man. That was just straight ass. You give him a Michael Penix Jr. and you give him this type of defense with freaking Ulbrich on this defense, with Nate Ollie on this defense. And then You also got Jerry Grant in secondary. Let's call a spade a spade. Most of y'all just wanted to, I almost said the N-word. Lord, forgive me. I got to hold it. You wanted a brother up in here that really just tap dance like Sambo. And if you don't know who Sambo is, please do your research on that. He tap dances like Sambo. He smiles in the media in a sense to where he's like the Joker. He has no accountability. But you passed on Steve Wilkes. You passed on Lovie Smith. You passed on Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel. Instead of you looking at just bringing somebody,
they passed on Mike McDonald and John Harbaugh too.
And instead of bringing somebody in just because of color, bring in someone because of the fact that they understand the game. They also understand how to call a game. They were groomed to be good coaches. I'm gonna tell you just like this here, man. I'm a brother. I'm a black man, just like a lot of y'all that's in this fan base. Grew up loving this team, and I'm a historian for a reason. When you look at Fritz Pollard, when you look at Lionel Taylor, when you look at Art Shell, you look at Tony Dungy, these black men that opened the door for you to become a head coach, you sitting there literally pissing it away, and they didn't even have half of the talent that you had.
And I'm just telling you, man. And
it's sad because guess what? You got to understand this. We don't get much leeway at the head coaching position in this league. Let's get that straight. We don't. If you don't produce, you're not going to be within that realm of retread coaches. Man, look at how many of these coaches don't deserve to have second chances elsewhere, and they still are horrible everywhere they go.
Josh McDaniels.
Everywhere they go. Thank you. Josh McDaniels is the biggest one that we're gonna talk about. Yeah. But at the same time, let's call a spade, man. Aaron Glenn probably getting ready to be on his way out. They 0-7 right now. They're not gonna give him a chance up there. They brought him in because he was a former Jet. But my thing is, you at least got to give him 3 years. Raheem is at year number 2. This is going to be year number 3 coming up next year if we don't get to the playoffs. So again, if you're going to sit back and talk about the fact that Raheem, give him a chance, how are you going to give somebody a chance that hasn't been competent since the day that they took over a head coaching job? Period.
Yeah.
Period. I don't want to hear that excuse. I'm sorry, Smitty. I'm gonna wrap up my point, and you got it. Okay, I'm gonna say this here. Y'all talk about, he was a young coach in Tampa. Bull BS. Guess what? John Madden was a position coach and took over the Raiders and built one of the powerhouses of the NFL. If we're going to talk about it, Don Shula took over the Colts as a young assistant that was just retired from playing and took them to a Super Bowl and then built the Dolphins. I don't want to hear no excuses about young. To hell with that. Let's talk about the fact that he's just incompetent.
Yeah. And I'm glad you used that word groom. This is why I wanted Mike McDonald. We knew where he was coming from with Baltimore. We knew he knew how to coach defense. We knew he knew about what it took to get to the Super Bowl. So when you talk about grooming, until you find a coach that's groomed to win in championship caliber, we're going to get these same results. And I've been saying that God knows how long. But everybody in the chat, man, please keep it respectful. Please do not disrespect anybody. Or you will get blocked. I'm telling you right now. I mean, we keep it professional and we keep it where, respectful. You ain't got to disrespect nobody, man. Don't do it because you will get blocked. I'm just telling you. But groom is such a strong word. There are coaches out there that were groomed. And look, I can go back and I'm like Ryan. I like to talk about the past a lot. Bill Walsh groomed George Seifert. He took over the 49ers when he left, won the Super Bowl.
Mike Holmgren too.
That's what I was just about. That's where I was going. Yeah, Mike Holmgren is another one. So
who else was on that squad? Mike Shanahan. Everybody forgot about that.
Yeah. who is eligible for the Hall of Fame this year? So I mean, one thing about it, if you bred to be a championship coach, you bred to be a championship coach. And it's going to show whether you want to show or not. I think Andy Reid came from Bill Parcells.
From that same tree. He started with the 49ers and then went to the Packers.
Right. Yeah. So look,
Dennis Green was another one that was up under that tree.
Yep.
You
So
know,
if you got it, you got it.
Like, people don't realize that Bill Walsh was groomed by Paul Brown, the legendary Paul Brown.
Right.
And he got blackballed by Paul Brown too. So, I mean, I look at it like this, man. When we talk about coaches that were groomed properly, guess what? They were all groomed. You don't think Gruden didn't get groomed? Gruden was up. Think about it. Gruden grew up under Buddy Ryan, and then he grew up under Mike Holmgren. I mean, there are many coaches that go through different changes. Like,
look at Bill Belichick. He was in Cleveland as a defensive backs coach and then defensive coordinator. He was the one that started the whole 3-4 thing. A lot of people don't even know that. He started the 3-4 defense. He perfected it, and everybody caught on. And what does Bill Belichick do down the road? He gets hired by the Jets, quits after one day, goes over to New England because they gave him full control, and end up winning 6 Super Bowls. So, look, you got to start somewhere. And a lot of these coaches have things handed to them, and it shows.
We're not saying we're using the black race card, but we're calling a spade a spade. If you heard how people acted when he first got here and the way that they're talking right now, it's not personal. It's just what it is. If you want it, you can go back and look at all the shows that we've done, myself, A1, Smitty, and many others. And before he got here, there was a lot of people clamoring, we need a black coach. We heard that. And guess what? Some of us were some of the ones who said it, because I said Mike Singletary deserved a second shot. That was a guy that I felt like deserved it, because that team that Jim Harbaugh went to the Super Bowl with was the foundation that he built.
Yep.
Yeah. But no one wants to talk about that though.
But it's okay for me, y'all. Like, when it comes down to coaches or whatever, I mean, I play coaches, players, whatever. I don't, and I think I speak for you fellas too. Like, it doesn't matter about the color for real. It matters about the results, because
at the end of the day,
that we have to realize, guys, that we're in a business that where it's required for you to win. And if you're not winning, and if you're not execution, no one pays you a bunch of money for lack of execution. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that we care about is execution and wins. People don't pay their money that they scratch and claw for potential and effort. No one cares about that. It's all about execution. And right now, the Falcons have not been able to execute making it to the playoffs for years. So right now, sitting at 3-3, there are some fans that are like, hey, look, there's still a lot of football left, but there is a lot of concern. And then there are some that are already packing it in because they've seen this movie before. That's all I'm saying. So, like, regardless,
and that's all I've been saying.
There's no need to pack it in. There's still 11 games left in this season.
Yeah, we still got a long way to go, but
I feel you.
But you got to understand the way things have been going with this team offensively. You can't put too much trust in the offense until you see change on a consistent basis. If you don't see Mike Penix getting better, developing a little bit more every game, that's going to be a problem. I don't care how good the defense is, because at some point, the defense is going to be so tired from standing on the field so long. Look at what happened last year. When we went on that bad run after that New Orleans loss, the next 5 games, the defense got wore down, and it showed at the end of the season. And the same thing is going to happen this year if the offense don't keep them off the field. It's just a proven fact. You got to have a championship caliber team and to hit the stride at the right time. You got to have a healthy team. And nobody's 100% healthy at any point during the season. But my point is, you got to have balance and you got to have control of your team if you want to go on a championship run. It's just that simple.
Hey, Kerry, I get what you're saying, but here's the thing, though. There's a part of the game that you don't understand, because, and I'm not saying, I'm gonna be very careful of how I say this, because if you look at it, most black coaches don't really get second chances in the NFL. And I'm being honest. Even the ones that have won and produced did not get second chances. So I'm not trying to turn this into a race thing, but I call a spade a spade. You get what I'm saying? And it's the truth. If you look at a lot of the coaches, look at Brian Flores had a hell of a team down in Miami that McDaniel is screwing up right now.
Yep.
Flores ain't got a second chance yet.
But
we literally embarrassed Flores' defense we embarrassed Flores' defense on that Sunday night game versus Minnesota. But at the same time,
I'm gonna rebuttal that just a little bit.
What's up?
Mike McDaniel really hasn't destroyed that team. The front office destroyed that team.
But he hadn't helped himself out at all either.
I would say his first 2 years there, he did get the 10, I think 11 wins. But
that team was already built before he got there.
True. But if you look at the owner is garbage, man. I'm gonna just.
The owner is horrible. We know that the management is bad, but at the same time, Brian Flores built that team through adversity and did it with a horrible owner, and actually had that team where they could actually potentially be a playoff powerhouse. You get what I'm saying?
Hold on.
What's
up?
Man,
can y'all delete that H word out my chat? Because y'all gonna get me reported, man. I can't have no negative content in my chat. Hey man, chill out.
Wow.
I thought we was talking about
I'm trying to be nice about it, man. Please delete those comments so I won't get reported. Chill out with that.
Yeah, delete that comment, man.
Yeah, that H word. If y'all got an H word and y'all comment, delete it. I told y'all, man, y'all got to be respectful, man. Come on now. Come on, and I'm trying, and I do this for free, man. I know YouTube pay me, and I appreciate y'all super chats, but a lot of people and a lot of content creators, they charge y'all in their chat just to read y'all questions.
Really?
I do it for free.
Smitty, can I address this?
What's that?
Because I see something Antonio said, no more EBT. Okay, so I'll tell you this. First off, I'm not on welfare. Let's get that straight. Secondly, I am a United States military veteran, and I'm highly educated with a college degree. I don't talk about my stuff like that, but the last thing that you're going to do is disrespect me like I'm scum. The reason you have an opinion is because of people like me that put on a uniform, that literally gave up my right to speak or whatnot. So if we're going to do that, let's keep this about football. Don't make this personal, because, again, this is all about football. You just got in your feelings because I dug into my bag and I pulled facts out. It's okay. It's okay. But don't get personal and try to take shots, because that's not going to bother me, because guess what? Every time you pay your taxes, I get my paycheck on the first of the month. I'm a disabled vet, my boy. I still get my check at the first of the month. So let's keep it about football, sir. That EBT after November 1st, that was really petty. So let that go to the wayside. I apologize.
Yeah, man. Y'all gotta keep respectful, man. And see, that's the thing is, I ain't never had no problem about none of y'all, man. Where's all this coming from?
My thing is we disagree. We agree to disagree all the time, and we all fans of the same team. I don't even know how in the world we get off of football and start talking about all the extra stuff anyway. Then why can't we talk football without disrespecting each other? Come on, y'all. We supposed to be better than that, man.
But the problem is this. Like, it's the same thing with the team right now. People are mad because of the fact that we speak facts when it comes to this team, and we're not going to sit there and kumbaya and shake your hand and walk you to the bathroom and help you flush the toilet. We're not going to do that. We're going to call a spade a spade.
All I'm saying is this. All I got to say is this. If you're looking for, a channel to where you can just disrespect people and everything like that, this isn't the channel for you. That's all I'm saying. Like, we don't do that type of stuff here at any one of our channels. We respect everybody's opinion because they're entitled to it, whether we agree with it or not. But it's a way to treat everything, and it's a way to say everything. At the end of the day, man, we doing all this and we still fans of the same team at the end of the day. So all the disrespect is just not needed. And if that's what you're looking for, please go find other channels, because it's not going to be here. That's
it. I gotta be respectful, man. Y'all done shocked me today, man. I ain't never had no problem out of nobody, man. So and I'm not taking shots at nobody, but just be respectful, because I'm telling you, if my mod was in here, she would block every one of y'all, and she's not here. So trust me, I'm just being nice and telling y'all. If she was here, a lot of y'all would have been blocked. But go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Let's get back to the Falcons, man. This personal stuff, man. We could just flush that out the toilet, because at this point, this is how I feel about the personal talk.
You haven't had one useful thing to say since you got here.
That's how we feel about personal stuff. We gonna make this funny, but we also gonna really talk football. But I'll say this. I think the Falcons have a chance to still get to the playoffs. In spite of all the things that they're trying to fix right now, it's still 11 games in the season. We just have to fix losing to NFC teams. We only have one NFC win this year. We actually have to win in our division, pretty much in our conference. Right now, we're 0-2 with the division. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the thing is, man, the part of the schedule that scares me the most is we still have to play 3 more teams out the NFC West. And we know those teams can be hell. We still have to play the Jets, which I think we can win. The Dolphins is Sunday, definitely can win that game. We beat Buffalo, so I think the Patriots is a winnable game. A lot of these games are very winnable because of the personnel we have. All we have to do is prepare for each game, stop being predictable on offense. If you learn how to move the ball on offense at a consistent pace, put up at least 25 points, the Falcons could probably win 7 of their last 11 games easily. 8 if you want me to be honest. But we always have trap games here and there. Arizona, I think, is a trap game. The Jets could be a trap game just because they have nothing to lose. Some things you just have to look at is your coach going to get up and go out every Sunday and lead his team? Man, that's the only question I have. And I don't trust Zach Robinson, to cross the street with a red light. Look,
man,
don't trust him.
And shout out to Miss Carey too, by the way. Look, me and Miss Carey will debate here and there, but the one thing I love about Miss Carey, she's consistent about her opinion about the Falcons, and I love it all day.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That is my sister in red and black. I have no ill feelings towards her. So if y'all in the chat think that, no, Carey is like my distant sister. We always clown and we talk trash. I love Miss Carey, but
we thank you for the super chat as well. Thank you for the super chat. But I gotta hone in right here at the end, because that part at the end that she said.
Yeah, she did say that. She actually said that on my show.
Yeah, he set himself up for success. Oh shoot, hold on.
No, I'm reading it. I got you, Chris.
He didn't set himself up for success hiring late and Zach Robinson. We've been Miss Carey. All of them been saying that. We even had a conversation after the show the other night, me, her, and Chris about that. And the bad thing about it is that Chris made the best point that I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. He said that Raheem Morris was possibly trying to build a coaching tree instead of trying to be successful first. And that was the God honest truth, because when you talk about building a coaching tree, just like we talked about earlier, it's so many things that you have to have in place. And to start off everything, you have to be a successful coach to start off everything. Raheem Morris hasn't proved none of that. That is where he went wrong. If you want to bring in your friend, that's fine. But make sure they have experience before you do that. Because you gave up a defensive coordinator that literally put us back on the map, and Ryan Nielsen that gave us 42 sacks in a single season, but you decided to go and get a Jimmy Lake instead of keeping the guy that's going to keep the momentum going with the defense. Just make that make sense. Sometimes you bring things on yourself because of poor decisions. And that's all he's been making since he's been a poor decisions. And it got to get better.
Yeah, it does. It does, and it does fast, because my thing is we're 3-3. This is going to be our 7th game. But regardless, y'all, we are almost in double digits as far as weeks. That means we're going to be getting to the back end. When we get to the back end, we still have some tough matchups and plus divisional games as well that we have to take care of business. So at the end of the day, man, I look at it like this. The entire team has to get on the same page. Quarterback,
right.
With the coordinator. I understand, quarterback makes some mistakes, but he's young. I understand a coordinator making mistakes, but he's young. You think about it. So it's just like at the end of the day, we kind of in a situation to right now, we just have to hope that everything can gel in time for us to try to make these playoffs. If not, guys, I don't even want to think about it if not.
Okay,
That's all I got to say.
But my last point: how many times are you gonna keep making the same mistakes?
Yeah.
How many times are you gonna keep going back in the same way? More than one time. It's 3 to 4 times the Falcons dropped the football, and I can start right at the Super Bowl season. I told y'all, to me, that next season after the Super Bowl, we knew what Dan Quinn's ceiling was then because the personnel went down. Yeah, you gave Matt Ryan $130 million contract, which was warranted, but did you keep building on the other side of the football to make this team successful to get back to the Super Bowl? No, you didn't. And when you fired Dan Quinn, you didn't have a clear replacement.
Nope.
You had Matt LaFleur, you had Kyle Shanahan on this squad. If Dan Quinn, the second season after they lost that game in Philadelphia in division round,
he said,
Matt LaFleur could have been the coach. Just last year. Just last year, Ryan. Listen, just last year.
Yep.
You didn't want Hunter Smith no more. Ryan Nielsen built this team up on defense.
Facts.
Why not promote him to head coach? If you're gonna go in-house, promote somebody that's producing, that's got a mindset to win. And people might not agree with what Dave Campbell doing in Detroit, but goddamn it, he got them players amped up every single game, win or lose. And his message doesn't change. His message doesn't change.
And Smitty, here's another one for you that is showing out, and that's Ben Johnson for Chicago right now. First year head coach. He's got that team heading in the right direction. Yeah, they're gonna take their bumps and bruises, but you're seeing what he's doing in Chicago. The defense was never the problem in Chicago. Chicago's always been known for defense. We all know that. But when you look at the fact of their offense is starting to turn around now because you have a guy that understands how to call plays and he understands how to use his weapons. We have to get someone in here that understands how to use offensive weapons and really how to use an offense. If we can ever get that to match with this defense, these Falcons will be unstoppable. I stand on that. I'm a realist, but for once, I'm gonna have a little bit of the Kool-Aid right here. The thing about this Falcons team is this: we're built off running the football and defense. And for my college football fans, they're built like the University of Georgia, if you really want to be honest. They're literally built like Georgia. And right now, you have a great quarterback that has the potential to be great. That's the best way to put it, because he's still learning how to play. If we get someone here that understands how to call an offense, how to use these weapons, and allowing this quarterback to grow in this system, guess what's going to happen? This Falcons team will be a consistent contender when it comes into championship football, period. This is one of the most talented teams in the NFL. And I know we're tired of losing. I am too as a Falcon fan, but guess what? Until we have somebody in here that is competent at this point, it's going to consistently look where you see flashes like a Roman candle. That's what it's going to look like, a sparkler.
Sparkler.
That's all I got for y'all, fellas. I appreciate y'all having me with y'all today.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
look. Yeah, man.
Yeah, we're about to get ready to wrap it up.
Miss Carey, trust me.
We love you.
I'm not gonna. We not gonna let anybody attack you. We know you know. We know you know your shit.
Right.
Don't even worry about what other people say. Don't even worry about what people say. As long as you know what you're doing and you know you speaking fat, just let it be that. Nobody gonna attack you. Yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Don't let nobody just come at you any kind of way. Just keep doing your thing.
Because one thing about it, if they got to come at you sideways because you're a female, they don't know football. Just keep it like that. Just keep it real. Because 9 times out of 10, if somebody can't stick with your point, guess what? They already lost. My guy Tramel.
What's up, Tramel?
Shout out my brother. Now I'm gonna tell y'all, this is a true story. Tramel can back this up. Tramel gave me hell for a good 2 years. But once he started to understand where I was coming from, Tramel, one of my biggest supporters, man. We had knockout, drag out, arguments. But once we got on the same page and we started to understand each other, we cool. And that's the thing.
But my thing is, I
understanding
bet
who
those altercations always were respectful too, though.
Oh hell yeah, he never get disrespectful.
Jamel just called me Shannon Sharp. That's the only thing. I be laughing and cutting up about that. It's cool. I gotta get a spot where Tramel comes onto the birdcage too, man. Got to get him in there because, like I said, we might go back and forth, but I respect your football knowledge, my boy. Seriously, I talk trash, but I actually respect it because you do come up with some phenomenal points.
Yeah, he right. Since he had videos in the car, absolutely. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
man.
I mean, it's just all about respect at the end of the day, man. That's all it is. If you can have a simple debate without getting mad just because you think you're always right, it won't be no problem because nobody is always right. Hell, I'm not always right. Look.
But you right. But you right 80% of the time, dog.
Yeah, you right a lot.
That's
man.
when you do your research.
Yeah. And that's why people follow me, because I do my research, and I just like Ryan, I like to do the throwback stuff. And a lot of older fans, they love that, man, and I love it. So yeah, right. Man. Sure, but Chris, man, yeah, facts. But you know what to do, man. Go on and shut it out, Chris, man.
All right, man. Now again, okay. Woo! I don't know if y'all had your coffee or what y'all ever need this morning, but at the end of the day, it is 12:41. Make sure you guys find your peace today. Positive energy always creates elevation, and that's how you find your peace. You know what I'm saying? Don't you settle for less. You always can have more with the vision. Please follow me over on A1 Forever Sports. That's the platform on YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. Also, the Hawks Digest. The Atlanta Hawks are back tonight against those Toronto Raptors. So we got to talk about it. We're going to get into it. So be on the lookout for that. But also Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever, and The Real, A1 Forever on TikTok. Thank you for everybody who tuned in from Twitter or X, and also on YouTube, man. Appreciate y'all for everything, seriously. And shout out to the chat. I know we got a little unruly again, but shout out to the chat because, again, y'all was coming in. Y'all was asking the questions, giving y'all opinions as always. Just, clean it up a little bit, and we'll be fine. But outside of that, we always appreciate you coming in. So thank you guys.
Ryan, go ahead.
Man, I how do I follow that up? Just
Heavenly Father.
That's all I can say. But I want to first off say thank y'all for having me in here. I appreciate you guys just giving me another avenue to talk Falcon football with y'all. Y'all are extended family. I love y'all too. Definitely love your knowledge. To the chat, definitely appreciate you guys for tapping in. I know it got a little chippy today, but guess what? We can go at it with each other, but guess what? Nobody else better not mess with us if you're not wearing red and black. It's all Falcon love in here, even when we don't like
it. They ain't ready. Trust me, they ain't ready.
But outside of that, you can definitely catch myself, the Magnificent Birdcage crew, on the Birdcage LLC on Thursdays at 8 p.m. We'll have a live show tomorrow. Smitty tip. If y'all are not busy, y'all are more than welcome to come through, Miss Carrie. You know how we do. Also, we have the pregame show before every Falcons home game, away game. It doesn't matter. We're going to be live. Also, check out the halftime analysis. I do a little 15-minute spill for the Falcons pretty much every game. And then we have the party line or the benediction. Y'all tap into that. And also check out Bumper to Bumper during the week. Didn't do an episode this week. Had some things to go on. But I'll be back at Bumper to Bumper this week. Well, maybe at the end of this week. We'll see. But I definitely appreciate you guys tapping in. And thank you for helping us get to 900 subscribers. We're trying to get to that 1,000 now. So,
hey man, 100 down, 100 to go, man.
100 to go, man. And A1, I definitely can't wait to tap into what you're going to talk about the Hawks, because this is a big one for us tonight, how we start off the season with these new players, man. I definitely can't wait for you and Damon and everybody that's doing something for the Hawks too, man. I appreciate y'all.
Just shout out to We Talk Hawks
TV.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the family over there, man. Damon. I mean, really everybody, because I can go on and on about that, about all the guys over there. So, man, just shout out to the whole
man. Damon been supporting me for a long time, man. He's not even a Falcon fan. And he's still been supporting me by nobody 5
Oh no,
years.
Demond is a diehard Falcon fan.
Yeah, he love the Falcons.
Yeah, he a diehard Falcon fan, Smitty.
Oh, yeah, I'm good to go then. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He just don't stay up here. You know what I'm saying?
I know it yet. I know it yet. Yeah, I know it
he's
yet.
from Virginia. He said he became a Falcons fan or whatnot because he was watching all the Atlanta sports on TBS growing up in the Virginia area. That's how he became a fan.
Yeah, it was definitely up there.
Yeah, you have it.
Yeah. But Jaden, man, I'm glad to hear your mom doing well. Tell her we love her, man, and we still supporting her. And glad she on her feet, man. Glad. But Mick Kara said at the end of the day, we all Falcon fans have each other back. Keep it football, keep it respectful. Absolutely 200%.
That's all we trying to do.
That's all we trying to do, man. But yeah, man. Catch Ryan on the bird cage, catch Chris on the Hawks Digest, man. He done blew that channel up, him and Walter, man. So shout out to them for growing that channel and help Chris, man, get to 5,000 because he almost there. He almost at 5,000 subs. But help him get there, help Ryan get to 1,000, man. And look, man, keep helping me grow as well, man. So
yes,
I appreciate y'all stopping through, man. Catch me on Twitter at fatboyslam_21 on Twitter. I'm always over there blowing it up because that's what I do. Catch me on TikTok, even though I don't do nothing on there. You can follow me on there. When I get to 1,000 followers, I go live over there too. So and Uncle Lou, please go back to the beginning of the show. We talked about Tyler a little bit about he asked whether Tyler be traded. We talked about that a little bit, man. Just go to the beginning of the video, like I would say the first 20 minutes, and we talked about that just a little bit. But like I said, it's a business at the end of the day. But keep tuning in to Smitty Sports Machine as I bring y'all topics, debates, and all that good stuff, shorts. I just try to do a little bit of everything, man. But again, man, for my boy Chris, my boy Ryan, we're gonna roll on out, man. Let y'all enjoy the rest of y'all hump day. And we're gonna roll, man. Peace.
Peace.